What's up, guys? A little look at what I'm doing here, a little concoction going on here in the kitchen. I am going crazy looking for clam chowder in New York City. Good clam chowder, New England clam chowder. I cannot find good New England clam chowder in Manhattan. Not like the ones I had in Boston, and so I'm gonna make some myself, all right? I'm gonna try to make some myself. I'm kind of going by a Food Network recipe, but I'm eyeballing everything. I'm using different measurements. That's how I roll, guys. I just, everything is by eye. That's how I've always cooked. And that's how I will always continue to cook. Got some bay leaves. Now, I kind of wanted to film. I wasn't sure if I should have filmed this. I think I should. It's something that I've never attempted before. So, I decided to film after cooking and chopping my potatoes, my onions, and celery. Now, this was a really fascinating process here that I really wish I would have shared with you guys. Okay, I have a little sofrito base here for the soup. Now, what I did was I took some anchovies, good ones. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, guys, I never thought I'd say it. These are the best anchovies I've ever had in my life. They were extremely expensive, $18 for this jar. They're not salty. They're just delicious. They're fantastic anchovies. Now you're saying, what are you doing with anchovies in a clam chowder, right? Well, let me give you a look at them. They are superb. If you can find that brand. I got these at Sal and Frank, Sal Maria pork store here in Staten Island. They are incredible, and it's funny because I don't even think they're imported. Oh yes, they are. They're imported from Italy. Okay, packaged over there. So what I did was I took some olive oil, some garlic, some onions, some anchovies. I dissolved them, and I dissolved the anchovies in the olive oil. Okay, I took a can of clam juice. What did I do with that can of clam juice? Just wanted to show you guys. Did I get rid of it? I know where it is. I threw it in here. After dissolving the anchovies in the olive oil and some garlic, I threw the clam juice in there. Okay, I threw my chopped potatoes in there, my chopped celery, some bay leaves, a lot of black pepper, about 3 bay leaves, okay? And then I threw some flour in there. I put about 4 tablespoons of flour to thicken it up, and that's why it's so thick like this. Again, potato, onion. The onions, I didn't caramelize them. You know, they're gonna cook with the soup. I'm gonna throw the heavy cream in there and all that. So we're gonna see how it goes. All right, so I'm gonna be adding some salmon lox to this stuff, which is my touch. I don't think I've ever had a clam chowder where they put salmon lox in it. I'll use some chicken stock, is what the recipe calls for, the 1/2 and 1/2. And let's get on. Stock went in, I didn't even measure it. I'm not even going by measurements, guys. I was supposed to put 2 cups, I put 1 because I'm compensating for the clam juice. I'm using the canned clams. I'm gonna drain that juice because it's loaded with preservatives. I got the fresh little necks, which are going in now. Chopped up some dill. What do you want to do here? You want to put the oyster crackers in there, or you want to go with the organic croutons? It's up to you. All right, this thing is steaming. I'm gonna wait for those clams to open up. All right, so here we go. The clams are opening. I'm gonna add the other ones now. We're gonna add the canned ones, and then the heavy cream, of course. And then I'm gonna throw some mascarpone cheese in there, which is not on the recipe list. That's my touch. In business here, guys. Here comes the heavy cream. I'm gonna see how much it needs. I think it's gonna need more than that, obviously. Decent stuff here, 1/2 and 1/2. Pasture-raised cows, no toxic pesticides, antibiotics. Let's throw in another cup. Throw it in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the lox last. It's already cooked. You don't want to dry that out. Maybe I'll throw some more butter in there. I already threw in a half a stick. Got the heavy cream. All sorts of flavors. I tasted it, man. It's delicious. The anchovies give it a nice kick. The clam juice, I didn't use the juice in the can because it's all preserved. I used some good clam juice. Where is that clam juice? I don't even know what I did with it. I may want to throw in some more clam juice. All natural, no additives. I don't mess around. I don't mess around. What I realize here, guys, it's a little watery. It's mostly all clam juice and the chicken stock. The half and half alone is not going to thicken this up. And in Boston, when I went to Maine, I went to York, Maine. I went to a few places in Maine. I visited Boston. The clam chowder there is like ice cream. It's so thick. So what I'm going to do is we're going to add some flour to this and some mascarpone, which is a risk because I've never seen a recipe that called for this. So I'm going to go and do it myself and see how it turns out. I threw some flour in there. It's going to help thicken it up. Almost done, guys. Put some flour in there, clumped up a little bit, had to whisk it. I shucked the clams. So you don't want any shells in the soup. You can present it with the shells, but I'd rather not. So last but not least, smoked salmon. Why not? Goes perfect in a clam chowder because we all eat our smoked salmon with cheese anyway. A conundrum. It's one of those things. The soup tastes good. I like the thickness. Everything is fantastic, and it's like, all right, should I even do this? Should I even put the mascarpone in there? Yeah, I am. And I could potentially ruin what is already a successful result with this final edition. That's in. Mascarpone cheese. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Chunky potatoes, dill, salmon, smoked salmon, whole little neck clams, chopped clams, baby clams, black pepper, celery, what else? Garlic, one whole white onion. Are you kidding? There's the celery there. Should have chopped the celery a little finer. Potatoes, and I think are chopped perfectly. Let's incorporate this mascarpone into the mix. Thicken it up a little more. A little more black pepper. And that's my New England clam chowder, folks. Here I was thinking I was finished. Who am I kidding? Forgot the parsley. Guys, that about does it. It took me about an hour to prepare this thing. I'm very happy with it. I already tasted it, obviously, while cooking. It's fantastic, my first attempt. I cannot believe how delicious this soup came out. Exceeded my expectations. I expected to screw this thing up. I followed a Food Network recipe very loosely. This is loosely based on a Food Network recipe. I put in more clam juice than necessary, less stock. I put in the right amount of heavy cream. I put in probably more clams than called for. So it's probably chunkier than it was supposed to be, but that's the way I prefer it. I like a nice chunky clam chowder. And we're gonna top this thing off with some garlic croutons, organic, baby. First I wanna taste the soup with one of those big chunky clams. And this soup takes a while to cool down, man. Let me tell you, be careful with this thing. I'll burn myself before. It's just, it's a thick soup, retains a lot of heat. Very herbaceous, dill and parsley. You could probably throw some thyme in here, which I was gonna do, but I didn't want to overpower it. Yeah. Is it as good as the stuff I had in New England? Is it as good as the stuff I had in Boston? I don't know what they're doing over there. This is delicious. It's just, I don't know. Look, it's my first time. I don't know. I would have to have it side by side. I remember being blown away over there. This is blowing me away as well. If you want a recipe, I can direct you to the recipe I used as my guide to making this, which is kind of my own thing. I threw mascarpone in there. I was supposed to use the baby clams in the cans, which I did. I was supposed to use the juice in those cans, which, you know, usually they're soaking in clam juice, but didn't like the preservative, so I used clam juice, good clam juice, instead of the juice that was already in the clams. I didn't measure it, just threw it in there. So again, this is it was on the fly, man. Like, it was all just by eye, and I didn't really measure much. I threw the mascarpone in there, which was a nice touch. Put in a little more flour than usual. I think if I go back, I probably will put less flour. But like I said, I prefer it thick, so it's up to you. If you want it a little thinner, use less flour. I used about 4 or 5. I used about 6 tablespoons of flour. So, with the croutons. Be well, guys. Cheers. Have a good weekend, depending on when and where you're watching, and hope you find this video useful. Take care, guys.